Popularly known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka is a teardrop-shaped island nation in South Asia, known for its diverse culture, ancient history, and varied landscape. The country is connected with ancient legends and timeless stories. Many of those are linked to the most fascinating Hindu epic Ramayana, which is the tale of Shri Ram's journey to save Mata Sita from King Ravan of Lanka. Trincomalee, historically known as Gokarna, is a major resort port city of Eastern Province in Sri Lanka. It has been one of the main centers of Sri Lankan Tamil-speaking culture on the island for nearly a millennium. Trincomalee was made into a fortified port town following the Portuguese conquest of the Jaffna Kingdom, changing hands between the Danish, the Dutch, the French, and the British. Fort Frederick, also known as Trincomalee Fort, was built by the Portuguese in 1624 CE. from the debris of the world-famous ancient Hindu Koneshwaram temple which they destroyed. The Koneshwaram temple is the most sacred of the Pancha Ishwarams of Sri Lanka. It is heralded as Dakshin Kailasham, meaning Kailash of the south, because it lies on exactly the same longitude as the Mount Kailash, the primary abode of Lord Shiva. The name Koneshwaram is derived from the Sanskrit expression Gokarneswar. According to the legend, King Ravan once prayed to Lord Shiva here to be bestowed with a Shivlingam. Since there was no immediate response, he got frustrated and attempted to cut the mountain with his sword, which angered Lord Koneshwar. King Ravan, an ardent devotee of Lord Koneshwar, tried to please the Lord by chanting Samved hymns, making an improvised veena with one of his 10 heads, muscles, and hands. Lord Koneshwar pardoned him and offered the Shivlingam. The original shrine was attacked and destroyed on the 14th of April 1622 by the Portuguese general Constantino da Sá da Noronha. The Portuguese soldiers entered the temple dressed as priests and began robbing it. The temple was then levered over the edge into the sea. Fleeing priests buried some of the temple statues in the surrounding area. In 1956, while scuba diving, photographer Mike Wilson and author Arthur Clarke discovered ruins from the sunken original temple, spread on the shallow surrounding seabed. They also retrieved the legendary Swayambhu Lingam from the ocean floor, which was reinstalled at this site. It is believed that this was one of 69 naturally occurring lingams from time immemorial, originally found on Mount Kailash of Tibet, and housed in Koneshwaram by King Ravan. Sigiriya or Sinhagiri is an ancient rock fortress located near the town of Dambula in Sri Lanka. It is a site of historical and archaeological significance that is dominated by a massive column of granite. The gardens at Sigiriya are not only the best preserved water gardens in South Asia, but some of the oldest landscaped gardens in the world. Important guests in the 5th century would have walked a path with the impressively designed water gardens on either side, serving as a grand entrance to the more than 1,200 steps leading up to the palace. A complex masterpiece of irrigation engineering design, Sigiriya's artfully designed water gardens required structural planning way ahead of its time. According to the historians, Sigiriya was built by King Kashyapa I of the Anuradhapura kingdom. Fearing invasion from his half-brother, he constructed the rock fortress as a new capital in Pleasure Palace, to serve as a secure and majestic stronghold. It is likely that the area around Sigiriya was inhabited since prehistoric times. There is clear evidence that the many rock shelters and caves in the vicinity were occupied by Buddhist monks and ascetics, from as early as the 3rd century BCE. Sigiriya was both a palace and a fortress. It consists of the ancient citadel built by King Kashyapa during the 5th century. There are ruins of an upper palace located on the flat top of the rock, a mud-level terrace that includes the Lion Gate, and the mirror wall with its frescoes which clings to the slopes below the rocks. The Sigiriya mirror wall is a historic 1600-year-old parapet wall that was once polished to a mirror-like sheen. Today, it is covered in ancient graffiti, including poems and verses left by visitors from the 7th to 19th centuries, which provides a unique record of historical, social and literary expression. Located on the western face of the massive rock fortress, the frescoes are one of the most significant surviving examples of ancient Sri Lankan art, and are celebrated for their vibrant colors, intricate detail, and unique subject matter. The Lion's Gate is one of the most iconic and significant features of the Sigiriya rock fortress. It served as the grand entrance to the upper palace complex located at the summit of the rock. The gate is named for the massive lion statue that once flanked the entrance. Visitors can only see the two gigantic stone-carved lion paws that remain intact today. Sigiriya is far more than just a rock with ruins. It is a living archaeological site, where history is still being uncovered. There are claims of hidden underground chambers and tunnels, though their contents and exact locations are unknown. One underground chamber is rumored to have been a secret escape route for the king. Local law connects Sigiriya to the king Ravan from the Hindu epic Ramayana. It is believed that this is where Ravan had his palace, which was built of gold for Kuber, by architect Vishwakarma. Considered one of the best examples of ancient urban planning, the site of Sigiriya Lion's Rock became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982.